Namaste, welcome to tummy.com, a platform for yoga teachers and yoga teachers in training. So today we shall be talking in continuation of chair yoga sequences and about a practice that is very popular amongst yoga teachers, that is chair Surya Namaskar. Now we all know that Surya Namaskar is a very good warm-up. So we have tried to create the same flow with the help of using a chair. This is our home page where you can log in, and also you can use the sequence builder like we have used to develop today's sequence, that is the chair Surya Namaskar. Now this particular sequence of chair Surya Namaskar is mainly for elderly people, for students with a disability, that is they might find it tough to sit on the ground, also for students that have mobility issues, that is they find it tough to stand or move their leg. But besides this, it can be also used to teach students who have anxiety or stress issues, can be used for prison inmates. They have different temperaments. Also for students whose professional lives are pretty hectic. So before we go ahead, we have explained how to build a chair yoga sequence in our previous videos. So if you need to refresh on your memory on the different pointers, so please do check out those videos. Chair Surya Namaskar has various benefits for such students because it keeps the different parts of the body active, like the arms, shoulders, legs, the back. Also patients in hospitals, who might be recovering or are going through a treatment, for them sun salutations, if practiced continuously, is used as a physiotherapy, and it also keeps their positive cells active all the time. But yes, we need to ensure that this happens only under the guidance and the consultation of the medical staff. So we shall begin with the first pose, but if you just try to recollect a classic Surya Namaskar on mat, it starts with a standing pose followed by forward bend, followed by a lunge pose, then a plank, followed by Bhujangasana and downward dog, working on the spine, and then ending the same thread of poses by performing it on the other side of the body. So we are trying to incorporate the same flow in chair Surya Namaskar also, but we need to keep in mind that we cannot exert the students too much because most of them might be medically challenged or emotionally challenged. So we start with hands chest chair, where the focus is towards the breath by keeping the eyes closed and taking the sight inward, focusing on the breath is very calming and relaxing. Also, one point to remember is that before you start your practice, ensuring that the students are seated comfortably, that their feet is grounded, their thighs are resting on the seat of the chair, there is a back support just in case some of them might need it. So here as a yoga teacher, you help the students with props like a pillow, yoga block for the feet. Now this pose is then followed by extending the arms up, opening the chest and also pumping the blood to the heart. This also works on the abdomen and the stretch is felt from the torso going up to the fingers. Following the pattern of a classic Surya Namaskar, the next pose is a forward bend, just like in Uttanasana. This is very good for digestion, and you just try to think, how does this activate the digestive system? Just try to recollect what we told in our previous videos of how such poses where the abdomen is in contact with the thighs, how it helps the digestive system. Just have a thought. So basically, what it does is, as the abdomen is pressed against the thighs, with every inhalation and exhalation, the muscles there and the organs in the abdomen are massaged, and that activates the digestive system. Also, because this is a forward bend, it works on the lower back, which is very relieving for patients and for old citizens who cannot move or are most probably bedridden. The next pose is Anjaneya Asana variation on chair, which resembles the lunge pose from the classic Surya Namaskar. This is performed on the right side of the body first, and as the legs is pulled close to the chest, the stretch is felt around the hips, the hamstrings, working on the spine and also keeping the knee active. Think about the various possibilities of kinds of students you might have. So if one finds it difficult to lift the thighs, how will you help them? So before you start building a sequence, thinking of all the possible situations that you might encounter and having solutions for the situation will help you in your sequence and in your teaching as well. So in this case, if your student finds it difficult to lift his or her thigh, you could place a bolster between the abdomen and the thigh, or you could place that leg in front on another stool chair. So the variations work the same way as the pose. This pose is then followed by bringing the same leg closer to the chest, pressing the thighs and trying to rest the nose on the knee. It's an elevated pose to Anjaneyasana. The stretch is felt around the hips, the hamstrings, and then the neck muscle is also engaged here. What is the purpose of trying to bring the nose to the knee? Why are we trying to do that? So just by doing that, there is a mild stretch felt around the lower back, which is very relieving. And even this pose works on the digestive system. And the same logic is used here, that the abdomen is getting pressed against the thighs. The one main thing that we haven't spoken until now, and it is very important, it's mentioned on your screen, is the breathing. All the poses explained till now, asking your students to focus on their breathing, entering and exiting with rhythmic breathing, holding the pose with ongoing inhalation and exhalation are key factors, because it is with breathing itself that students can hold a pose and the effectiveness of the stretch is felt because of breathing. Now, the 4 poses that we explained, that is performed on the left side of the body to keep the balance, starting with hands up chair, followed by forward bend, followed by Anjaneyasana variation and knee head down pose. The next is a flow, starting with hand up pose, going on to forward bend, and then performing hand up chair pose again, keeping the inhalation and exhalation in rhythm. Now, what is the purpose of including this flow in Surya Namaskar chair? Now, and if you try to connect this with the classic Surya Namaskar on a mat, it is quite different, because a classic Surya Namaskar has a Bhujangasana, has a plank pose, but we did not incorporate that, though we have another sequence which talks about it. But why is it that we did not include it here? That is because the purpose of this sequence is that it is a gentle warm-up, with students being patients, old citizens, work professionals or housewives who find a rigorous practice difficult to do. Instead, this solves their purpose of stretching the different muscles. Lastly, the sequence is ended with Upavishta Shavasana with a bolster, and there is complete rest given in this pose. Now, this is one complete round of Surya Namaskar, starting from the right side of the body, going to the left side of the body. The number of rounds depends upon the students you have, their capacity and their comfort. And the entire practice of Surya Namaskar revolves around focusing around the breath. Hence, it is used for therapeutic purposes also. The 3 important takeaways from the sequence is that how can you convert a flow into chair sequence? Like Surya Namaskar is a flow, but we try to make a chair Surya Namaskar out of it. So think of such flows. Maybe you could think of how a moon salutation can be done using a chair. That will be our next video, but before you see it, just brainstorm a little bit. The second thing is the importance of being well prepared for various situations in your class, because the students are different. Each student might find different poses difficult. And how will you help such students? When do you want to give them the breaks? What variations you need to incorporate? And what are the possible mistakes that they might commit, and how you will take them through the pose? These are few answers that you need to have in mind before you start your class. Lastly, the importance of breathing in a flow, and especially with students who are senior citizens, whose grip is not so strong. Every pose in this sequence revolved around breath. Taking these points in mind, we want you to build your own sequence, now maybe for intermediate level of students, with more poses using a chair. Add it to the comment section below, and we will provide our feedback for 5 to 10 sequences, and we hope that other yoga teachers will do the same. Please do give your valuable feedback, because with your suggestions we are growing. Drop in your queries and we will be happy to answer. We would like to share a review by our user named Marka. Thank you for the constant support and all the recommendations. Lastly, stay tuned for detailed description of sequences using chair. Subscribe to our channel to get automatic notifications, and please use the sequence builder to develop different kinds of sequences. And thank you very much.